Go home safely. Su Hyang sent off Pyeowul with bittersweet eyes. Pyeowul turned his head for a moment and looked at Su Hyang. Su Hyang's face turned red at Pyeowul's gaze. They had already shared several nights together, but still, every time she would see Pyeowul, her chest never stopped pounding. No matter where the courtesan was, Su Hyang couldn't stop herself from looking for Pyeowul. I'll come again next time. I'll be waiting. Su Hyang sent Pyeowul with a smile. After leaving the Divine Fragrance Pavilion, Pyeowul walked down the dark street, the street that was dreary. But Pyeowul was familiar with such a scene. He came up from the underground cave and managed to adapt well, so the darkness was more comfortable for him. In the dark, his senses were more sharpened and sensitive. He felt someone's gaze with his spread-out senses. Heavy eyes and a strong presence that can be clearly felt even in the dark. It was as if a great mountain was standing there. Pyeowul had once met a man with this kind of presence. Jin Jiamwoo. As he expected, in the distance, Jin Jiamwoo was leaning against the wall while looking his way. Pyeowul's eyes narrowed. He was currently the master of the night. After Seo Munpyeong's visit, he always came to the Divine Fragrance Pavilion using the face of Yeoju. He did it to completely hide his identity. Is he here to meet Yeoju? That was the only reason for Jin Jiamwoo to stand in front of him. At that moment, Jin Jiamwoo came to Pyeowul, taking his back off the wall. Jin Jiamwoo approached Pyeowul and said, "My name is Jin Jiamwoo, the blood-weaving warrior. Are you Yeoju, the owner of Divine Fragrance Pavilion?" Jin Jiamwoo looked straight at Pyeowul. He asked for help from the Hao clan and Yu Shinfeng to capture Hukum. Since they recognized the seriousness of the matter, they actively cooperated with him. The Hao clan and Yu Shinfeng and others searched Chengdu thoroughly. However, no traces of Hukum were found, whether he ascended to heaven or fell to the earth. They needed more people to help them with the search. At that time, the person Jin Jiamwoo remembered was Yeoju. Strong enough to subdue Seo Munpyeong at once, a wild nickname of the Master of the Night, and the owner of Divine Fragrance Pavilion would have a considerable influence on the courtesans. It was a situation where even a cat's hand had to be borrowed. After much deliberation, Jin Jiamwoo came to meet Yeoju. Pyeowul nodded his head without saying a word. Then, a smile appeared on Jin Jiamwoo's lips. "I came here just in case, but to think I get to meet you like this. What is it?" "Actually, I want to ask for your help, Yeoju." Jin Jiamwoo suddenly blurted out the end of his words. He then kept his mouth shut and looked intently into Pyeowul's face. In the darkness, an intense light erupted from his eyes. Pyeowul did not avoid it and looked into his gaze. Their eyes met in the air. Jin Jiamwoo was the first to speak. "I've definitely seen your eyes before. But back then, it wasn't that face, so your face right now must not be your real face." Jin Jiamwoo was immediately convinced that Pyeowul's appearance was not real. Pyeowul was honestly surprised. He had only seen Jin Jiamwoo once. Even back then, he met Jin Jiamwoo using a different identity. Lim Kwon-ok. It was when he was learning music from a band teacher. At that time, he only saw him once, but even Pyeowul did not expect that he would remember his eyes and be so sure. "Who are you with different faces? Who do you think I am?" Pyeowul no longer hid his true colors. For some reason, hiding himself in front of Jin Jiamwoo felt meaningless and shabby. Jin Jiamwoo was the first to notice his multiple identity. No one has ever noticed before, so Pyeowul thought he was noteworthy. Jin Jiamwoo stared at Pyeowul. His eyes were as hot as the sun and as fierce as the waves. On the other hand, Pyeowul's eyes were completely stationary. It was impossible to read his thoughts from his eyes that did not show any movement or emotion. Paradoxically, however, such an appearance convinced Jin Jiamwoo. "Before I came here, I heard a story about a man. It was about an assassin who played around the sex in Sichuan province alone. When I first heard of the rumor, I couldn't believe it. Because it was too unrealistic." "Is that why you're looking for him? So you know about that?" "As expected, you're really capable." That's right. I'm looking for him. Why? I've been tracking a group for a long time. I'm trying to find out if he might be a member of that organization. The two of them were talking naturally as if they had known each other for a long time. What if he belongs to that group? I will fight and subdue him. Then I will dig out the truth. That's reckless. I hear that a lot. Jin Jianwu revealed everything. It was a proud attitude that expressed that he has nothing to be ashamed of. Pyeongwol narrowed his eyes and looked at Jin Jianwu. Perhaps even after waking up after death, Pyeongwol will not be able to reveal himself so proudly. He even wondered, how should I live to be able to reveal myself without hesitation like that? Jin Jianwu asked. Now, answer my questions. Who are you? Lim Kwanoke from the Celestial Music Hall, Yaju from Divine Fragrance Pavilion, or the assassin who caused bloodshed in Sichuan. Who is your true self? Jin Jianwu was convinced that the man in front of him was the one he was looking for. It was ridiculous to deny it any longer. Tududuk. Pyeongwol's facial muscles moved little by little. And his true face was revealed. Jin Jianwu was surprised by his white skin and beautiful features that seemed to glow in the dark. Is that your true face? Yes. That's definitely worth hiding. If you have that kind of face, you'll get attention anywhere. You didn't come to me just to talk about that, did you? Oh right. My bad. I was just surprised by your appearance. Anyway, that's not what I came here for. Jin Jianwu meekly admitted his mistake. Pyeongwol asked, who are you looking for? The 9 dragons. Huh? Jin Jianwu took a gold coin from his pocket and threw it at Pyeongwol. On the surface of the gold coin, 9 intertwined dragons were elaborately engraved. What is this? You don't seem to know. I asked what it was. Recently, people using these marks have been discovered. In recent years, people have been found wearing this pattern. Those who have no connection or contact use this mark in common, and they are like a lapis lazuli, blooming everywhere and intervening in various interests. It's different from the traditional sects in Jianghu. The Jianghu sects cares about their own reputation and the interests of the people, but this new organization doesn't care about their group's own reputation at all. What they want is only their own profit. That's new. And practical. Pyeongwol was sincerely in awe. Yes. It's the emergence of a completely new class that has never existed before, and their appearance resembles merchants in a way. It's similar to the blind pursuit of wealth. But it's different in a way that they possess power. So, I'll ask bluntly. Do you belong to this organization? No. I see. Do you believe me? I believe you. Why? It's because it's hard to believe that a person with eyes like you would live and interact with other people. In a way, it was said that he felt good, but Pyeongwol didn't really care. Rather, he was quite surprised at how accurate Jin Jianwu's eyes were. Are you disappointed? You came all the way to Sichuan, and you didn't make any progress. No, I thought this trip was quite fruitful. Would I not have been able to meet you if I hadn't come this far? That's strange. Don't people like you usually take sides of the Ame or the Qingqing sect? Because the crayfish shop is on your side? Of course it could be, but I don't like those two sects very much. Both sects locked their doors during the War of the Demons and Heavens, because they were afraid of the enemies. In my opinion, before they can earn my respect, they need to be qualified. From Jin Jianwu's words, Pyeongwol understood how straightforward he was. You won't live long. Who? Me? People with such an uncompromising personality tend to be short-lived. Haha. Maybe. Jin Jianwu laughed out loud, regardless of Pyeongwol's venomous remarks. Pyeongwol furrowed his brow. The more he looked at him, the worse he felt. That dignified figure that does not hide himself for even a single moment greatly stirred Pyeongwol's heart. My name is Jin Jianwu. What is your true name? Pyeongwol. Good. Pyeongwol, why don't we become friends? I think we could become true friends regardless of your status. I refuse. Pyeongwol refused with a snap. He felt even worse. What the hell does he know about him that he wants to be friends? The appearance of Jin Jian-woo, who came into his territory without any notice, repulsed him. Despite Pyeongwol's rejection, Jin Jian-woo wasn't disappointed. Can't you reconsider? I like you. No. Hey! Jin Jian-woo exclaimed. But he did not give up easily. If you change your mind, come to me anytime. I really want to get acquainted with you, friend. He called Pyeongwol his friend until the very end. Pyeongwol stepped forward and said coldly, if you're done talking nonsense, can you get out of the way? Our business is not over yet. Help me. A dangerous man has hid in Chengdu. He is believed to be a person from the Xiaolian temple, but I don't know where he is hiding. If we leave him like this, something big is sure to happen. Help me find him. That's why I came to you. Pyeongwol didn't answer. Because he had no reason to listen to Jin Jian-woo's request. Pyeongwol casually passed by Jin Jian-woo. Jin Jian-woo did not stop Pyeongwol. I know well that you're not a bad person. Please help me. Pyeongwol thought that Jin Jian-woo's voice was just passing noise. A loud and useless noise. In an instant, Pyeongwol disappeared into darkness. Jin Jian-woo looked at Pyeongwol's back with a sad gaze. Before coming here, he had thoroughly researched about the bloodshed that recently happened in Sichuan. Most people paid attention only to the number of lives lost caused by an assassin named Pyeongwol, but he investigated why things escalated to that point. He's not just a bloodthirsty man, he's a victim. If I had been in the same situation as him, I would have also acted the same. The more he dug into Pyeongwol's history, the more he was surprised. He was sure. He's not a bad person from the bottom of his heart. Now that he met Pyeongwol in person, his confidence has grown stronger. That's why he said that he wanted to be friends for a nonsensical reason. Even after being rejected in a single go, his heart did not change. We'll see each other again. He turned around and spoke. Chengdu, which was immersed in darkness, came into his eyes. A deep night when most people are asleep. But someone is awake. Jin Jian-woo hoped it wasn't the one he was pursuing. Rather, he wished that the person he was pursuing escaped to the Xiaolian temple. Because it was clear that if he remained in Chengdu and plotted something, it would have terrible consequences. I'll catch him before that happens. Definitely. Jin Jian-woo bit his lip and walked into the darkness of the city.